Air conditioning causes colds. Where does the dripping water come from? What is a British thermal unit? Today, I'm going to tell you 10 myths, curiosities, or things you probably didn't know about air conditioning. Until some time ago, a device like this was a luxury that very few people had at home, but that has changed. Nowadays, a lot of people already have one or want to buy one. Because of that, when I asked on Instagram for questions about air conditioning, I was flooded with responses. Fact number 1, an air conditioner needs 2 main parts. So let's open this beauty up, shall we? This is the indoor unit, also known as the evaporator. Many people think this is the entire air conditioner, but it's not. Outside, we have the condenser, which does the heavy work. I made a little drawing here to explain how the magic actually happens. Here we have the wall of your house, with the condenser on the outside and the evaporator on the inside. Throughout the entire system, there is a fluid circulating, sometimes in liquid form, sometimes as a gas called refrigerant fluid. It enters the evaporator as a liquid. Okay, and as the name suggests, it will evaporate. And when it evaporates, it cools down. It starts absorbing heat from the surrounding environment, and that's great because this fluid flows through several copper tubes attached to metal plates, allowing heat exchange with the air. So here at the front, there is a fan that pulls warm air from the room, passes it through these plates and tubes. The air cools down, and then it goes back into your bedroom, living room, and so on. At the same time, as you might expect, this refrigerant fluid keeps getting hotter and hotter until, in the end, it reaches roughly room temperature. Then it leaves your house and goes to the condenser there. A compressor takes this refrigerant fluid and compresses it, and in doing so, the fluid heats up a lot. I even changed the color here to make it clear it gets really hot. Once again, it passes through copper tubes and plates to exchange heat with the air, this time with the air outside your house. So here we have outdoor air. A fan pulls it in, it cools this fluid down, and then the air leaves already warm. So what happens to the refrigerant? It condenses, returns to its liquid state, and is then sent back to the other side, to the evaporator. So there are 2 important things here. First, this is a closed circuit. The fluid stays trapped inside the air conditioner and keeps circulating. It doesn't disappear. And the second important point is that the secret to an air conditioner working is right here. It's evaporating a fluid that was in a liquid state. When it evaporates, it absorbs heat from the environment, taking heat from inside and releasing it outside.
Your explanation makes sense. However, you're wrong because my grandma's air conditioner is just one single unit, not split into 2.
That's true. There are some models where all of this is combined into one single machine. Everything is in the same unit. The downside is that you need to install this machine in an opening that has to be made in the wall of your house. The compressor, which is the part that heats up, makes noise and vibrates, will be very close to you. When the machine is split into 2 parts, that's no longer a problem. One unit can be far away from the other because those thin pipes can be quite long. For example, one unit can be in your room and the other can be on the balcony. Besides that, in modern units, the compressor is very quiet. Fact number 2, air conditioning was invented more than 100 years ago. It was created in 1902, and the model most similar to what we use today was invented by an American who wanted to solve a problem in a printing company. Because of the heat, the paper would expand, so the ink wouldn't stick properly, and the images would end up smudged. So he created a device that could control temperature and humidity. By the way, the term air conditioning literally means conditioning the air, changing its conditions. The goal is to keep the air comfortable and properly conditioned. In practice, that means adjusting 4 things: temperature, humidity, air purity, and circulation. Fact number 3 of the evaporator, which goes indoors, should always be installed high up on the wall. Imagine this is one room in your house. You already know that hot air rises, so it tends to accumulate near the ceiling, while cooler air stays lower, LD. If you install the air conditioner too low, it will mainly pull in cold air and make it even colder. From a physics standpoint, that's not the most efficient choice. But if you install it high up, it will pull in the hottest air in the room and cool it down. That way, it cools all the air in the room and eliminates the pocket of hot air near the ceiling. By the way, that's exactly what we're about to do in the next room. The technicians from TCL are going to install this air conditioner for us. All right, now we're good. Let's record with the nice, cool air from the new air conditioner. Fact number 4. The water that drips comes from the air itself. When you see an air conditioner outside a house, you might notice a small hose carrying water away from it. So where does that water come from? Do you need to turn on a faucet for the air conditioner to work? No. Inside the evaporator, the cold coils exchange heat with the air. As this happens, the moisture present in the air can condense. We can't see it, but the air around us contains a lot of water in a gaseous state. When this air touches something cold, the moisture condenses, turns into liquid, and begins to drip. The same thing happens when you take a cold bottle out of the fridge. Water starts running down the outside of it. That water comes from condensation in the air, not from inside the bottle, so that this water doesn't drip inside your house, onto your furniture, onto your head, or into your room. Air conditioners include a drainage system designed to carry this water safely outside the house. That's the hose you see outside. In Manguarina, many people even reuse this water for other purposes. That would make a great video for Manuel do Mundo. Right. Fact number 5. It's the British who define the cooling capacity of your air conditioner. When you go to buy one, you've probably noticed that the more powerful the unit is, the higher the BTU rating. The BTU stands for British thermal unit. Basically, it measures how much heat the air conditioner can remove from a space in 1 hour. So, the higher the BTU rating, the greater the unit's ability to cool a large environment. But what does this actually mean in your daily life? For a large room, you need an air conditioner with enough capacity to cool the entire space. Otherwise, it simply won't be effective. On the other hand, installing an overly powerful unit in a very small room isn't a good idea either, because you'll just waste energy. Fact number 6, air conditioning does not cause the flu. What it actually does is cool the air and remove moisture from it. It cannot transmit the flu virus to you. Some models only recirculate the same air. That means you're in a closed room with doors and windows shut, several people inside, and the same air just getting colder and colder. Because of that, you may be exposed to more dust or microorganisms, such as the flu virus, if someone in the room is already infected. To catch the flu, you need to have contact with the virus, and viruses tend to accumulate in closed environments. The cold itself only causes discomfort. Many people simply dislike the sensation of cold air or airflow blowing directly onto their skin. Jansen, who's recording right now, sometimes complains about this over at Manuel do Mundo. This air conditioner solves that issue with a feature called Breeze. If you look at the evaporator outlet, you'll see perforated fins inside that spread the airflow in a way similar to a natural breeze. Instead of blowing a strong jet of cold air directly onto your skin. Fact number 7, opening your window increases your electricity bill. If your air conditioner doesn't have fresh air intake, you might worry that the air in your room or office is getting stale. So you think, all right, I'll open the window to change the air. And yes, it will change the air, but it also makes the unit work harder because it now needs to cool all the hot air coming in from outside in the end. If you don't have fresh air intake and need to open a door or window to renew the air, do it quickly and close it again right away. Otherwise, the air conditioner will be fighting against the heat from outside. With fresh air intake, you don't need to worry about that. And it also helps save energy in other ways. For example, this unit is an inverter, which means it can adjust the compressor speed. If it only needs a little cooling, the compressor runs very slowly at a low speed. If it needs more power, it speeds up a bit, but it doesn't run at full capacity all the time. That also makes it much quieter. It also has sensors that, combined with artificial intelligence, can save up to 37% of energy. Fact number 8, air conditioners and air coolers are not the same thing. An air cooler is usually a device you place on the floor. You put water inside it, it has a fan, and as the fan runs, some of that water evaporates. To evaporate, the water absorbs heat from the environment. That means that in addition to the airflow, you get a cooling effect caused by the water evaporating. That's interesting, but there are 2 downsides. The first is that it increases the humidity in the environment. We once built a kind of air cooler here using some bricks. People called it the Indian air conditioner. We tested it. It went terribly wrong. And one thing we noticed is that it dramatically increased the humidity in the room. And honestly, if it's already hot, increasing humidity is usually not a good idea. The second issue is that an air cooler behaves very differently in dry versus humid climates. When the air is dry, water evaporates easily. When it's humid, evaporation becomes much harder. That means the device performs very differently in cities like Brasilia and Manaus, even if the temperatures are the same. In short, with an air conditioner, I can truly control the air. I can condition it exactly the way I want. I set the temperature here to 23 degrees, wait a bit, and this room will actually reach 23 degrees. An air cooler has a very limited cooling range. There's no real control over it. You can't set the temperature, and its performance changes depending on the humidity of the environment. Fact number 9, setting the air conditioner to the lowest temperature will not make the room cool down any faster. Let's imagine it's 30 degrees in this room. I come in, turn on the air conditioner, and what I really want is 23 degrees, which is comfortable for me. But because I'm in a hurry, I set it to 16 degrees, thinking it will cool faster. That doesn't help. Whether I set it to 16 or 23, the room is still at 30 degrees, and the air conditioner will work at full power either way. The difference is that if I set it to 16, it will keep cooling nonstop and get colder than I actually need. That just wastes energy. On the other hand, if I set it to the temperature I really want, the air conditioner works hard at first. As it gets close to that temperature, it starts slowing down. When it reaches 23 degrees, it stops and waits for the temperature to rise before turning on again. So ideally, always set the air conditioner to your desired temperature. Fact number 10. If I set the air conditioner to 28 degrees, it won't heat up the room. Sometimes it's already quite cold, around 18 degrees, and people think, I'll set it to 25 degrees to make the room more comfortable. If you do that most of the time, absolutely nothing will happen. As I showed before, the air conditioner removes heat from the room and sends it outside. So it will understand that you want to cool the room to 25 degrees, but it's already at 18. Which is below that. So it simply won't do any LED. Some units have a reversing valve that flips the system, allowing it to take heat from outside and bring it inside. In that case, you have an air conditioner with heating. But most models don't have this feature. So if the room is colder than the temperature you set for the air conditioner to maintain, it will simply understand that it doesn't need to cool anymore, saving energy by doing nothing. Extra fact, a modern air conditioner ensures cleaner, fresher air while also saving energy. These 10 facts were based on questions sent by you. It helps to understand these differences, especially with a modern unit like TCL Fresh in 3.0. People usually buy air conditioners for cold air, and most devices do deliver that. The problem starts when you've been using it for a while and reach a point where you don't want it on anymore, because you're tired of breathing stale air. We breathe more than 11,000 liters of air every day, so air quality really matters. If you clicked on this video, you're probably bothered by the heat. So here's a really cool tip from an older video: way to reduce heat by creating a reflective lining under your roof using milk cartons. Yes, it's simple, cheap, and a very cool experiment to try. Check out the video we left for you.